Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome to our show tonight. Tonight we have a very special show, and I know you guys have been waiting for a couple of minutes, but we are here. My guest is not even my guest. My co-host is here. She was a guest before, but she's not a guest anymore. She is a co-host, and we want to talk about this very, very interesting lawsuit that was filed against two individuals, and these two individuals, I didn't see this one coming. I assumed that we would get some type of information as related to actor Christian Keys' claims about attempted sexual harassment. However, instead of that, we got a lawsuit. We got a lawsuit that we're going to go through each page, and I'm bringing in my legal analyst as well as co-host, attorney Thelma Anderson. And without any further ado, good evening, Thelma.
Good evening.
How are you?
I am great. How are you?
Good. Did you do your shopping and all that good stuff that you're supposed to be doing today instead of being here with me tonight?
No, I'm always last minute. I only have kids to buy for, so I'll do that tomorrow. So I'll be good.
Okay. All right. Well, tomorrow's the mall's gonna be crowded. You do know that.
I'm getting up super early. I'm going to get my Starbucks and I'm gonna make it do what it do.
Getting your Starbucks. I thought we okay. I thought we were protesting Starbucks, but that's another conversation for another day. This is about this lawsuit, and
Mm-hmm.
have you had an opportunity to review that lawsuit?
Yes.
Oh, so, ladies and gentlemen, this lawsuit, I thought it was a lawsuit coming, but I didn't think this type of lawsuit was going to be coming. And as the title says, who is suing who? Counselor, let's talk about who's suing who.
Well, who we thought was gonna be suing who is not who's suing who. They are actually being sued together. So this particular lawsuit is being brought by an individual who copyright he had a copyright to a particular popular show that I know everybody loves and probably has viewed it on BET Plus. We're going to get into it. He developed this show back in 2016, 2018. Just like any individual who is very serious about their project, guess who they're going to go to? An entertainment lawyer. And this individual
Absolutely.
went to an entertainment lawyer who's a popular entertainment lawyer in Atlanta, Georgia. Her name is Dana Thomas Cooks.
We can
She,
mention her name because she's in the lawsuit.
she's in a lawsuit, and I mean, she's a lawyer. She's on. She's a lawyer. That's what she do. She puts herself out there to sell her services, and one being an entertainment attorney. He has alleged that he went to her just like any other person that is serious about their work and they want to make sure they get it in the right hands. So who better than an attorney? Because you know that your rights are going to be protected. Allegedly, they both knew that the information he shared with her because he was interested in sharing or selling his show project after he did the right thing and protected it legally. Gave her the information. She allegedly told him that he needed to send her the material so that she can review it. Well, in sending the material, it is clear as day he states that it has copyright because he just received his copyright certificate after filing it to protect his material, which means that you are on notice that this information cannot be stolen, cannot be remade, cannot be duplicated, cannot be imitated. You are on notice that everything that is in this particular creation that has been copyrighted had a copyright to it. You cannot steal it because this is the true owner. You have to give credit to this individual. Well, allegedly, he followed up. There was no follow up from this particular attorney. Now, no client attorney relationship was allegedly created, but there was a creation of a confidentiality that nobody else will get this information. And allegedly, this is the only person he shared it with because he had just got it approved and registered with the Copyright Office. So go ahead.
So, and then this is also going to be a teaching moment as well.
Mm-hmm.
If someone has a project and they want to shop it, did he do the right steps based on what is alleged in this lawsuit as far as protecting his rights?
Yes, I think he did the right step. The only step that I'm unsure of if he registered with the Writers Guild Association. So there's a two-part step outside of trademarking your brand and your name that when you are creating and developing television projects or music, anything, you have to copyright your project, and also to get that additional ownership and protection, you get it registered with the Writers Guild Association. So I'm not sure if he did the latter part, but that doesn't matter. There was still a copyright attached to it. So once that what that does is legally gives you ownership of the materials that you have created. So allegedly, after he reached back out, the attorney never followed up, which is very concerning because you stated you were going to follow up and you received this material. Allegedly, that this attorney said that she was very busy, and years went by, and boom, All the Queen's Men appears under Tyler Perry's company and the new creator, Christian Keys, allegedly created this whole concept. So when the owner of the original work, which was called Trapping, that's what was the name of this project that the plaintiff created and did a copyright for and pitched it to this attorney because they were looking for production deals, and this attorney is attached to production companies allegedly.
So she's a showrunner.
I'm not quite sure, but I know even that I'm an attorney, and being that I've developed television projects, I have certain connections that I can utilize in order to send over to individuals who would be interested in these certain projects based off of the network and what they look for normally. So I'm not sure if that's how the capacity, but I know that's customary based off of what I do on my end. Mm-hmm. So after this, after it comes out, the plaintiff is like, hold on, wait a minute. Now I know y'all just ain't just put out, not even, y'all didn't even change a little bit. And then y'all saying that Christian Keys is the true owner. And when allegedly you go and look at what they're using, which is ladies night, something that Christian developed back in, I believe, 2014, as
is
a
that
book.
Christian?
Yeah, Christian Keys developed a book called, wrote a novel called Ladies Night. And this was supposed to be a rendition of Ladies Night based off of All the Queen's Men. But this individual's like, hold on now. He started doing his research and figured out that this attorney is linked to Tyler Perry Studios. And this particular individual put two and two together and was like, and also did his research on Ladies Night. It's no way, based off of what has been filed, you get around that. So what it looks like is, in my opinion, this attorney received the information from the plaintiff, and somehow it ended up at Tyler Perry Studios, allegedly.
Say it ain't true.
And now it's one of the most popular shows on BET Plus. I look at it, I can't get enough of it. I'm in a chokehold behind this show. So when you are reading this complaint and you're looking at it, I'm just like, I know damn well this attorney ain't do this. But allegedly it's looking very suspicious, because I would say this, and I tell clients all the time, when you are creating show projects, if you don't have an NDA with everybody you're signing it with, you need to be careful who you tell this information to. And allegedly, this person is saying this is the only person I've told this information after I received my registration, because this is an attorney. And when you put the pieces together attached to Tyler Perry Studios, Tyler Perry brings it out. Christian Keys is attached to it as the, and I'm just like, Christian, is your integrity? Are you saying to the world that you created this show and you know in the back of your mind that you didn't, because it doesn't align with Ladies Night? Now I'm gonna go read Ladies Night. Now I have to do my research. I have to read Ladies Night so I can compare what is being alleged so that I can be properly informed. But it's looking very suspicious right now.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. Let's look at timeline. You have the. I can bring the document. Do you want to bring the document on the screen?
Yes.
Okay, let's bring the document on the screen. Tell me if you can see it. Let's get down to the pages. Let me go to the next page. You can see that?
Mm-hmm.
You want to read it? Read the complaint?
Read the whole complaint or?
Well, I think let's put everything in context. We can go through the complaint. That would give it some more specificity in what we're looking at.
Okay. So the complaint alleges the basis of this complaint alleges that the above named defendants, who is Tyler Perry Studios, along with Christian Keys and attorney Dana Thomas Cooks, engaged in a scheme to deprive the plaintiff of his exclusive rights to his entitled work Trapping. Without his consent and permission, has reproduced his work and is now profiting from this illegal act of infringement. The alleged work, entitled All the Queen's Men, is a derivative work based off of the book by Mr. Christian Keys entitled Ladies Night. The derivative was created on or about 2019 or 2020 and released on September 9th, 2021. Plaintiff is alleged that the derivative work of the defendant's fictional character of All the Queen's Men bore substantial similarity to his protected creative expression via his fictional character that is placed in his story Trapping. Briefly, the plaintiff's story was to be pitched as a franchise series that has a two-part storyline for potential spin-off opportunities. One part is about four coming-to-age teenagers who has gained national attention as rap artists. Second part, and the central focus of this story, centers around their childhood friend who has started the largest gentleman club in Atlanta and the United States. Operating her strip club called Black Pearl Entertainment, Tommy Mocha Johnson is considered to be the most feared woman in the entertainment industry. She is protected by her female chief of security, Bridget, who is trained in all firearms as well as martial arts. She is constantly by Tommy Johnson side 24/7. So that alone, if you read his show breakdown, that is exactly what we're looking at All the Queen's Men. Have you watched All the Queen's Men?
I have not, and I will probably. I don't know if I'm gonna have time to watch it, but the court is going to watch it. I'm sure.
Oh, it is. Listen, that right there. If I'm reading this and it's not a lawsuit, I know exactly what they're talking about. This character Tommy, who is played by Eva, Eva, who is from Top Model.
Eva
she
Pickford.
was from where, yeah,
Eva Pickford. Well, it's
from
still Pickford?
Real House. She just got a divorce from Real Housewives of Atlanta. She plays the madam, and she has this sidekick, which is a woman who is a badass. You know, she take them down. So when you are reading this, automatically, if you are a fan of this show, you know exactly what they're talking about. And there's no way you can confuse the two at all. That's why I got to read Ladies' Night, because it's going to make it clear.
Okay, we have another page. Before we get to the other page, some people are saying that he had filed this before. And I looked at the previous filings, and what I learned from the previous filings was it wasn't properly, the reason why it was dismissed is it wasn't properly served. And that was one of the reasons why it was dismissed. But he finally got it properly served, and now it's actionable in court. And I want to say Judge Eleanor Robinson is the presiding judge on this case. Why is that name familiar to me? Well, this is the same judge that presided over Clayton County Sheriff Victor Hill's case, where the sheriff of Clayton County went to jail for alleged, not alleged anymore. He was convicted of abusing inmates in the jail. And I sat in the courtroom. It was an African-American judge. So I remember very well Judge Ross. This, you want to go to the next page?
Sure. The story main fictional character, Marilyn Madam DeVille, aka Madam, played by actress and model Eva Marcel, who runs and operates the largest strip club in Atlanta, Georgia, called Club Eden. She is considered to a boss of considered to be, I'm gonna just add B in there. Considered to be a boss of boss and very dangerous. That's the typo. I'm pretty sure.
It's a typo.
But y'all get the picture.
You read very well.
She is protected by her female chief of security, Blue, who is constantly by her side. She is protected by, setting in Atlanta, shooting location, large strip club, character similarity. The story is identified and is substantially similar in concept and feel. See, this is a case. This case law. Y'all gonna look that up. In defendant Christian Key's book, Ladies' Night, the main fictional prison. That's another typo. Yeah, that's another typo. He soon finds work at a nightclub located in Inglewood, California called Eden, ran by a character by the name Mary Fox. The book was completed in 2013-2014. Again, Atlanta was not mentioned as a setting or a location very critical as it relates to this infringement lawsuit. The absence of one of the main characters that protects Madam was not in the book of Ladies' Night, female chief of security, Blue. Given the impression that my work was copied and then altered to make their series, which happens. It happens. This proves substantial similarity in my prima facie case. Plaintiff is owner of the copyright and has therefore pursued his constitutional right to file this lawsuit in federal court.
Okay, so the nexus would be in this claim. The nexus would be the similarities in his body of work and what is absent in Christian's body of work or his book. And what they're, correct me if I'm wrong, what they're alleging is that once it got into the hands of Mr. Perry and his team, and the lawyer who obviously somehow facilitated the access to Mr. Perry and his team, was able to maybe not recreate, but add on to something that should have been protected under his copyright. And they are numerous. I think if you read the lawsuit, there are over 40 something violations of copyright that he's alleging.
It's a lot.
Now let's talk about if this guy is able to prevail in each of these violations based on the federal law, what is the dollar amount per violation? Is it like 150,000? And we're not there yet, by the way. We're trying to do the math.
Oh.
Well, I believe registered copyright is $150,000. Registered copyright. A registered copyright through
But I'm thinking about each violation.
Well, that would be 100,000 per violation. If I have 3 photos that are copyrighted and they violate all 3 photos, I'm going.
The minimum
is the minimum, right? Now they're alleging other things, so they're alleging more than just the violation, obviously.
People listen.
So let me ask you this question: with everything that's happened over the last 7 days, with what Christian has said in this video, do you think this is a temporary reaction based on knowing this lawsuit is about to be refiled again?
Listen. Usually, my intuition is right when it comes to how things start to manifest and progress and come out. So this is what I'm going to go out on the limb and say. I think Christian, in my opinion, may have been an innocent bystander. This is the reason why I feel that this way, because what a lot of people don't understand about television is once you get writers and producers in a room to really write the script for the series, you don't know who has gotten information from where. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I think when Christian was approached to or presented his particular concept, because he stated that that's what he does. When he presented his particular his book that he'd written and wanted to turn it into a television series, I feel like this was the perfect cop-out for receiving this type of show in confidential information by an attorney. I think this was the perfect play for them to segue in order to put him on it, to say, oh, Christian is the one that created the show. We just brought it from Christian. And that turns out when he's having these issues now, I feel like he probably feels like he's been duped more than just on the sexual side, but now on the creative side, because now he's having to defend himself and his creativity when he calls himself to have a lot of integrity. So for me,
this obviously brings into question his integrity, and was there some type of fraudulent behavior that took place? What did he know and when did he know? And they still got to show how his book is something missing here.
It's a lot missing. It's a lot. It's not some. It's a lot. Let's be for real. This a lot, and this is not okay. And that's why I feel like if I am tracking his moral compass, I believe that he was an innocent bystander in this. Now, can I say that wholeheartedly after the fact? No. But in the beginning, I kind of feel like they used him as a cover-up to steal this concept, this show from the true owner. It is a perfect mesh. And they thought that people like this think that they can get away with it because they found something that is complementary to what they've actually alleged to have stolen.
Okay. So if his book came out in 2014, Christians, right?
2013, 2014, yes.
And the individual that is suing, when did his product get in the hands of the attorney? What year did that happen?
2018. So 2016, he says he developed this this show. He
Okay.
developed it. He
Okay.
submitted it for a copyright in
Okay.
2018.
Okay.
His next step was go see a lawyer.
Okay.
And he went to one of the biggest lawyers in entertainment in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay.
And then this person disappears, stopped communicating with him. Then he starts to see it on BET Plus. How
Okay.
great is that?
Could it be just a coincidence that they both had similar ideas? Okay.
Absolutely not. Let me tell you why. And
Okay.
I'm a creator. I've created shows. I protected my own concepts. People want to say that you are going to think of the same thing. That I'm not disputing that.
Mm-hmm.
But to be so detailed, nobody is going to be as detailed as the person that originally created it.
Right. Right.
This right here is very detailed. When we're looking at ladies' night, we're looking at a concept that is saying a nightclub. When we're looking at trapping, a gentleman's club.
Okay. 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 Something's very.
Madam,
That's so Atlanta too. The
it's so
Joey.
Atlanta.
Okay.
And that's the thing. Christian Keys is not Atlanta. No, he's not Atlanta.
Okay.
The owner is from Atlanta.
Okay.
Of this concept.
Does the owner know Christian? We don't know that.
No, the owner only knew the attorney. He only reached out, who's from Atlanta, reached out to the attorney because he wanted to pitch to productions. Okay. Yeah.
Right. So I get it when you say Christian probably just fell in. He got caught in the crossfire at some point, and he just got to ride along with whatever was happening.
I think he was blindsided.
Okay.
So, and this is like this is for anybody. When a major production company says, I want to buy your concept, you're going to be so excited. You're like, oh my God, finally, I've made it. I've made it. Like, my work is going to be put out there. To where now you're thinking, so y'all play me? Y'all didn't have to do that. I would have never done this to this person. Do y'all know how hard it is to be a creative? That's what I feel like was going through his mind.
So Royal Destiny says, how do you know lawyer Dana didn't present it to Christian and they both went to Tyler as if Christian created it?
Mm-hmm. That's a good
analogy.
Assumption. Yeah, it's very good. Like, that's.
We need to see those phone records.
Listen, and this is the thing. The only person that could have transferred this information is the attorney.
Hold on one second. I need you guys that are in here to hit the like button. Make sure you share the video. Make sure you listen. You see the Cash App there. You want to ask a question, hit the Cash App or the Super Chat to get our attention. That comment just stood out. But you know what you got to do here. We both need a cup of coffee tonight, by the way. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What was I saying?
We were talking about the analogy that the assumption that that's a possibility.
It's a possibility, but I have to stand on my gut that this man did not know. I have to stand. Now, I can't stand on that when we're talking about the other individual that is a part of it, because they get this stuff all of the time. And a lot of people don't do their fact checking.
Due diligence, right.
Yeah, but this is the thing. When you have an attorney that's bringing you something, you're going to automatically assume that the attorney is just their integrity is not going to fall below their ethical standards, because as attorneys, you have an ethical obligation, a moral and ethical obligation, and your license is tied to this. So understand this. As a lawyer, when this suit was filed against this individual, they automatically have to report it to the bar association within their state, which means that now they go under investigation. But they don't get reprimanded until this whole case is over and done with. So attorneys we have an obligation to maintain not only the confidentiality of individuals who are our clients, but if you are holding yourself out to hold certain information confidential based off of having a conversation, because even consultations are confidential. Okay. You have to hold that regardless if a person hires you or not. So this is a big issue. Okay. Because if this attorney has transferred confidential information, they're not only going to be held accountable in the federal court, they're going to be held accountable when you're talking about your law license. And these are and can be grounds for disbarment.
Well, let me ask you a question to your point. So at what point does the attorney have the right to share the information if the whole purpose for the person coming to the attorney was to pitch it, to shop it? Do they have to issue an NDA to the person they show it to? So where does the attorney get the consent to share it?
She didn't have consent yet. She told, allegedly in the complaint, she told the plaintiff that she needed to review it and get back with him.
Okay. So that's a problem. That's a problem. Because it shouldn't have left her desk without communicating back to him. That's a problem.
It's a big problem. But she has malpractice insurance. He'll get paid through that insurance as well as any other assets.
Well, hold on. How much is the malpractice insurance? How
it depends on. So it depends. So malpractice insurance, they typically go out by how much you're generating. They start out at the ballpark of how much you've been generating. Then it goes to the type of cases that you are actually taking in. When we're talking about entertainment and intellectual property, that is a high valued section of the law. So therefore, you have to have a different type of policy,
right?
Because the inability to calculate someone's loss when we're talking about intellectual property, that goes on, on down the line when you have to do it that way. So based off of her being, popular, I can anticipate that she probably has on the upward about $5 to $10 million policy.
$5 to $10 million. Okay. Well, this guy's claim is more than $5 million. If you do the math.
And that ain't my problem.
It's a lot of money on the table.
That's a co-defendant problem, because you better be telling each defendant like you're gonna have to pay. We're gonna have to cut the check.
Okay, so I also looked at what stood out for me is he's a pro se defendant. Why hasn't he, based on this, any attorney came on and took his case on pro bono? Like this, if it's worth something, so don't you think another attorney would join in on it?
Well, I believe that once it gets enough attention in the media, that will happen. Because once that the media picks it up, this person is going to get calls from left and right about defending them against this particular claim. Because when we are talking, to me, it's clear on its face that they need to be, talking about a settlement. And the only reason why an attorney wouldn't want to do a settlement, because that in part is an admission, and they still are legally tied to talking about this and being investigated by the bar association. But the other two, like I said, I think Christian probably wouldn't have had a problem with it if he was in fact a main culprit. That's why I feel like he's an innocent bystander, and I feel like he's been alluding and coming out, and he's just fed the fuck up with everything that's been going on, and now he's tied to a federal lawsuit that he has to spend money to pay for an attorney to defend himself against something he may have never knew nothing about.
The discovery is going to be very interesting. The
And
discovery
so,
on everyone. But I would say that the plaintiff will need. I think if he wants to prevail, he's going to need some good attorneys.
yeah, he's going to. But this is the thing.
Would you take the case?
I don't do. Listen, I did my time in litigation. Not to say I can't step in the ring and take them down like I used to, but I did my time. I served my purpose. Now I'm on the transactional side, actually protecting individuals in the entertainment business, not allegedly stealing their concepts and their ideas, because I ain't doing that. No, because I ain't trying to get sued. I ain't trying to have to. Because I ain't. First of all, I ain't trying to hire a lawyer to defend me in federal court, because I can't defend myself, and I'm definitely not trying to hire a lawyer to defend me in a grievance that are a bar complaint or an investigation, because that's two different attorneys. You have to get an attorney to defend yourself when you're going before the boards. I mean, the bar, in order to overcome what has gone before you. So no, but hopefully with us bringing awareness, we can find somebody for him. Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to this document. Okay, so that's page 3. We finished it from page 3, right?
We're at the bottom part.
Okay, which are
40. But that's not the statement of claim.
Okay.
The bottom of 3.
Okay. Did you read that already?
Mm-hmm. Well, no, okay. I haven't read that part. We didn't get that part.
Okay, you ready? Oh, you want me to read it?
I mean, you are a journalist, and that's
okay. So Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 8A, Defendant Statement of Claim. The law office of Daniel Thomas LLC office presides on 1100 Peachtree Street, Northeast Suite 250. Okay. On or about November 7, 2018, plaintiff contact entertainment law firm Dana Thomas Cook LLC office spoke to her via a 30-minute phone consultation, and only a 30-minute phone consultation. Wow. And told her I was looking for help to get my original story out for production consideration. Let me turn this to the next page. Okay. Advised me before she commits to any projects, she must review the material, and therefore instructed me to forward them via email. She gave me her word. That it would be confidential. She gave you her word, or did you make her sign something? That's the question I have, counselor. So I followed her instructions and respectfully emailed them in her office. I waited 1 week, and then I began to follow up with her. On November 13th, 2018, I emailed Ms. Thomas regarding the requested material I'd sent her. She told me she haven't had any time to review them. 2 months went by and never heard from her since. Okay. It is now early 2020 when Tyler Perry Studios was about to release a new television series. Why do I feel like we went over this?
No, because the statement of claim. So we went over the claim. This is giving you the factual side of it. You just had an appetizer. This is giving you the meat.
Oh, let's get into the meat then. It is now early 2020 when Tyler Perry Studios was about to release a new television series entitled All the Queen's Men. I then read their synopsis and knew that defendant law office of Dana Thomas had leaked my confidential material I had submitted. The elements were there as well. the elements were there as well as my protected creative expressions, thus provoking an infringement. Plaintiff is claiming that according to the defendant's bio, she has working business relationship with BET that streams the infringement derivative work, All the Queen's Men. Dang. Use her position as an entertainment lawyer to gain access to Tyler Perry Studios, who also has a 25% stake with the streaming company, and allegedly submitted my confidential material. As a result of this unauthorized leak, Tyler Perry Studios in 2019 began the infringement, development, as well as the production of the derivative work, All the Queen's Men. Shortly thereafter, plaintiff had submitted his television series project to the defendant law office of Dana Thomas Cook LLC, thus triggering a cause of action under Title 17 U.S. Code 501A Copyrights Act of 1776. Also violating 17 U.S. Code 106 under exclusive rights statutes. When an infringer infringes of the rights of a copyright holder, relief can be sought in a court of law. She ignored plaintiff's copyright notices that were affixed to the material that was submitted to her. Okay, so he did have, so that would be pretty much covering himself, right, counselor?
Mm-hmm.
As well as disregarding her confidential promise to a prospective client. So now here's a question for you, counselor. They had a verbal understanding, according to him. Should he had to sign an NDA as well?
Yes and no. So consultations are to be confidential when it comes to attorneys.
Okay.
When you have a consultation with an attorney, it's confidential.
Okay.
Regardless
But
if they hire you or not. It does not form an attorney-client privilege, but it's confidential.
Okay. It also is his word against us. She's being sued. She's being sued.
It's not.
Now.
Here's the thing: it's not a consultation. Is confidential.
Right.
It's not. Right. It's not his word against hers. It is our standard.
Right. Okay. Let's see. Hold on.
And also, if she told him to email her, he sent the email. There's a paper trail.
That part.
And her response of saying she's been busy. She's been too busy to get back with him. That alone triggers, one, the conversation that they had, her directions confirming what she told him to do. Yeah, no, you can't get past that part.
Okay, so here we go. Without express or written permission of the plaintiff, Dana Thomas allegedly and unlawfully leaked my material through a third party, that being Tyler Perry Studios. On September 9th, 2021, BET Plus began to stream the derivative of All the Queen's Men, thus infringing on plaintiff's copyrighted work. Trapping. It should be based off, it says based off her conduct, the plaintiff has suffered irreparable mental and economic damage as well as hardship. Plaintiff has elected for relief under Title 17 U.S. Code 504C statutory damage as well as punitive damages at the court's discretion. Not the court, but the court's discretion. Since this was a blatant disregard of the plaintiff's exclusive right, he is seeking the maximum relief regarding statutory damages. I believe that the facts stated in these particular claims are true and sufficient. Okay, so it goes from third person to first person, but I get it. Counsel, your thoughts.
So I'm looking at this comment. Can you pull up Ronnie C's comment?
Okay, let me pull it up. Hold on. Okay, let's see. I don't see it. It doesn't say. Your comments won't stand out. Hit that super chat. I don't
It's
see
the
it.
one. It's the last comment.
Oh, Ronnie. Okay, I'll do it for you.
So Ronnie stated that he disagrees with me
Oh, you
because
why that comment?
because I like to do educational follow-ups for individuals who don't really understand the legal process, kind of break it down to them so they can understand, the difference between opinions and in the law. Christian, from his own mouth, stated he shopped his project and was turned down before approaching Tyler Perry. Christian stated he retained the ownership. People are lying. So maybe Ronnie didn't come in until later when I stated that, in my opinion, yes, Christian was shopping his project around. However, this was the perfect segue for them to bring in this plaintiff's work and tie it to Christian's work because it's so similar in nature that they would think that people would not understand the difference in the two. So, yes, he's shopping his project around, and so was this plaintiff, which landed in the attorney's lap, who has connections with the studios. So it makes perfect sense to use Christian's ladies' night in order to filter in this protected material and pretend like it's Christians when it's in reality it was taken from somebody else. So Ronnie, I hope you understand that part and that makes sense to you.
Makes sense to me. You want to try something else with her? She ready for you. What you got? What you got? Bring it on. Okay, so let's go back here. Okay. I got to put it on the big screen. Let's see here. We left off with okay, we gotta go to okay. Next page. I'm gonna give you the next page, number 5. Counselor.
Okay. Tyler Perry Studios presides on 1 Tyler Perry Studios Way. This is the address. So I'm gonna not go through all the fluff. I'm gonna just stick to the meat of it.
Okay.
This corporation produces, develops content for television via streaming platform. As mentioned in the above statement of claim regarding the law office of Dana Thomas, defendant Tyler Perry was allegedly given plaintiff's confidential material and allegedly began without the authorization by the plaintiff to reproduce, develop, distribute plaintiff's protected creative expression via streaming. Plaintiff is claiming after the alleged leak of his television series Trapping in 2019 is the year, of series Trapping in 2019, the year Tyler Perry Studios began infringement, development, production of All the Queen's Men. After the purported misappropriated manipulation of the plaintiff's literary work. Now, let me go back to manipulation. That is exactly what I stated, is how I believe Christian became involved because of his story, Ladies' Night, is being mixed in with trapping. Manipulation, 101. Okay. Manipulation of plaintiff's literary work. It is when they created and derivative work, All the Queen's Men. After the completion, defendant Tyler Perry Studios registered the infringed work June of 2020. That's even going to be worse too.
Wow.
Plaintiff is claiming All the Queen's Men was created in 2019. Copywritten in 2020. That is bad. Plaintiff work received his copyright in 2018. Once plaintiff received his copyrights, it was the following month that he reached out to the defendant's law office of Dana Thomas LLC. This is bad. You cannot go and try to copyright somebody else's work and pass it off, because the copyright office asks you specifically, do you understand that if you are not telling the truth, you could be held criminally liable? So this is not just a civil matter. This can turn criminal for Tyler Perry Studios. Not
people saying you're blaming Tyler Perry. No one's blaming him. The lawsuit is claiming that his company infringed on this person's work, and they said Tyler Perry's innocent. We don't know. They got to bring this in front of the federal judge, Judge Eleanor Ross in Atlanta.
Okay. So let me also state, Tyler Perry Studios is owned by who?
Tyler Perry.
At the end of the day, who does the responsibility falls on?
Tyler Perry.
So how can y'all say that we are blaming somebody when they picked up someone's protected work? Do y'all not understand how hard allegedly do y'all not understand how hard it is for these individuals to create show concepts and get it in the hands of big production companies? How much money they put into it, how much time, how much stress, how much resources, how much time that they lose to this? And y'all are sitting here worried about if somebody is blaming a studio that picked up what is alleged to be somebody's protected work. What do y'all say to the individual who's fighting for their rights to be compensated for something that is stolen from them? Would y'all want something to be stolen from you and then have this big production company pick it up and claim it that it's allegedly theirs? How do y'all feel about that? Because what y'all are saying that we are blaming somebody. Think about the individual who has lost their ability to actually put out their work.
Well, listen, I'm a little less passionate because we're just reading the complaint. We don't know we're just reading a complaint.
Well, we're just reading a complaint, but we have individuals that have comments that think that we are being biased towards a party when we are literally educating you all on this particular complaint and what it looks like. There are some people in the comment section that get it and some people that don't. So yes, we are addressing the individuals that don't get it because we don't want y'all spreading a narrative that we are blaming somebody when we are simply reading a complaint.
That's it. Not our words, his words.
We ain't come up with this. We don't know these people from a can of water.
We may have corrected some of the grammar, but we didn't change the most important parts. We didn't restate laws or nothing like that. So, I mean, this is a lawsuit that's been filed. You too can read it on your platform, but give us credit.
Exactly.
Give us credit about it.
Do that.
Give us credit. So we didn't put watermarks and all that, and we're not doing that. But we know where you got it from.
Okay, so let me finish reading a complaint that I did not draft, that I did not have any knowledge of, that I simply, collected from a database that provides everything that is filed for the public to go and collect, read, digest, and do all that. Okay, back to the regular schedule. Tyler Perry Studios are reaping financial benefits by distributing the infringing work to multiple streaming platforms. Thus, for 48 copies has been distributed to 8 streaming platforms, making it a total of 384 copies, which in a sense is going to add to damages. So we'll talk about that next. Without the express written permission of the copyright holder, Larry Lamont Ledford, Tyler Perry Studios, under the copyright code that y'all can go and read, allegedly has knowingly and willfully committed copyright infringement and violating the copyright code under exclusive right statute. Defendant Tyler Perry Studios also ignored the copyright notice that was affixed to the alleged leaked material and allegedly replaced it with a new one under all the Queen's men for copyright registration, which is a violation, a criminal violation, ladies and gentlemen. Tyler Perry Studios has inflicted irreparable mental and economic harm to the plaintiff as well as his family. As such, plaintiff is entitled for relief in the form of the statutory damages under the Copyright Code for remedies. Plaintiff has elected for maximum statutory damages since this is a willful act for all copies that were submitted to various streaming platforms. Lastly, plaintiff is asking the court for future sanctions, including but not limited to punitive damages and injunctive relief as a whole. Relief sought for injunction is to order defendant to halt the continued production of the television series until such remedies have been settled. I believe that the facts stated in these particular claims are true and sufficient. So what this essentially means, because we're right now, all the Queen's Men is actually in production right now. They are on the set filming all the Queen's Men as late as last week. What essentially can happen at some point if they get a hearing and the judge believes that this particular plaintiff has satisfied the requirements and has met their standard in order to provide injunctive relief, which is like a temporary order to halt production, that means that they will have to stop filming as well as they cannot put out a new season until this case actually proceeds through federal court.
That's a big request that's going to be made in front of this judge because it's in writing. This is more the reasons why this person might want to go in with some top guns, because you're not shutting Tyler Perry down, in my opinion, just as a pro se defendant. Who knows? Judge Ross is pretty thorough.
But here's the thing. Your lawyers can't overcome the law. When a law is that clear and you have a judge that understands the law and was not appointed by the previous administration, you have a chance. Just because you have big wigs does not mean that you don't have a chance to shut down a big wig, because the law is the law and the federal law is the federal law. It's not like the state where you can have wiggle room to get around it. Federal law is very clear and direct.
So you're too passionate.
Who said that I'm too passionate?
Renee, so you're too passionate to be reading the complaint.
Listen, let me tell you why I'm passionate. Because I do entertainment law, and I'm also a creative. And I'm an attorney that believes in protecting individuals' intellectual property rights, because when you get into these spaces and you start sharing your information and people actually start stealing from you, a lot of people allow it to happen. I am not one of those ones that when individuals come to me with their information that I go and divulge it. I show them how to protect it. So when I'm seeing individuals that are being preyed on because something that they created was so brilliant that the individuals didn't want to give them credit for, yes, I have a problem with that. Anybody should have a problem with somebody stealing somebody's hard-earned work and trying to claim it as theirs.
The document is available on PACER. The document is available on PACER, which is a federal pacer.gov. That's not my voice. What are you doing?
Oh, that's my that's one of my little nieces.
Okay.
Oh, they wrote me this since I'm getting so much hate. Look what they said. I love TT. No,
TT get love. She ain't getting a lot of love in the comment section, but she getting love right there.
But it's okay, I let my haters be my motivators. Y'all can hate. It's
So
okay.
let's see here. Let me go back here. I think it's my turn. Hold on. How many pages is this lawsuit?
That one is like 19 pages.
Oh, we're not
But
reading that.
this is
We're not.
this is why it's 19 pages, and this is why they feel like we are attacking Tyler Perry. Every defendant has their own statement of claim. They have a statement of claim for Christian Keys. They have a statement of claim for the attorney. This is not just
Oh, okay.
so that's why people are so quick to think that we are
Oh,
jumping down Tyler Perry and,
oh,
and,
oh.
and
We
blaming him.
we about to go for Christian next. We got Tyler Perry out there. Tyler Perry's statement of claim. Now we have Christian statement defendant statement of claim against Christian Keys. I'll take this one on, counsel. Okay. Let me read
Okay.
this one. Let me take this one here. Let's go. Christian Keys, defendant Christian Keys has no listed physical address. He is an American actor and writer and author of Ladies Night. Place of employment currently is Tyler Perry Studios. Plaintiff is claiming that once Tyler Perry Studios allegedly received the leaked material from defendant law office of Dana Thomas LLC, Tyler Perry Studios allegedly used defendant Christian Keys' novel Ladies Night, which was published in 2014, to conceal their infringement by creating a derivative, All the Queen's Men, and illegally used plaintiff protected creative expression as their derivative work, a derivative work that, quite frankly, was created in the year 2019, 5 years after the publication of Keys' novel, and registered it for copyright June 2020. Copyright protection of derivatives. And this is more of the legal stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I need to read that. Uh,
Mm-mm.
but we can go back down to defendant Christian Keys, Tyler Perry Studios, and the law office of Dana Thomas Cook did not seek out the express written permission to begin altering and producing the derivative work All the Queen's Men. It was a nefarious act to say the least. Okay, defendant Christian Keys has been promoting this derivative work All the Queen's Men and is claiming that he is the sole creator of this literary work. What he is doing is making false representation and is misleading the audience through social media and blogs. Hold on for a second. I'm going to read that again.
Thank you.
I'm going to read that part again, ladies and gentlemen. This is important. This is important. We'll get back to that. Defendant Christian Keys has been promoting this derivative work, All the Queen's Men, and is claiming that he is the sole creator of this literary work. What he is doing is making false representation and is misleading audiences through social media and blogs. Sounds familiar? I'm just saying, hold on.
I see what you're saying. You're so silly.
But by admitting he is the creator of this work, he is complicit and he is also therefore liable for the lawsuit that has been issued. Ooh. Ooh. Let's
do
talk about
do
that.
they see how different the statement of claim for Tyler Perry is, as well as Tyler Perry Studios and the statement of claim for Christian Keys? They're
Ooh.
not the same.
They're
They
not the
have
same.
different claims. So no one is being biased. This individual is pointing out how each individual is culpable for their parts in allegedly stealing his work.
So he ain't just saying Tyler Perry getting the smoke. He's saying Christian Keys getting the smoke as well.
Everybody getting the smoke, and we're gonna read the smoke that he's giving to the lawyers.
Oh, there's a lot of smoke going around here, but we're gonna go to the next page. Let's go to the next page here. Let's see here. Here we go. Counselor, I'm gonna take this one as well. Defendant Christian Keys has done irreparable economic and mental damages to the plaintiff as well as to his family. Relief is sought in the following: by violating Title 17 USC 501A copyright infringement statute and the Title 17 U.S. Code 106 via exclusive rights. Relief can be sought and should be granted under Title 17 U.S. Code 504 for statutory damages or profits. Plaintiff has elected to ask the court for relief for the maximum statutory damage as well as punitive damages at the discretion of the court for willful intent in neglecting the plaintiff's copyright notices that were affixed to his leaked television series Trapping. Also, defendant Christian Keys also ignored the copyright notices that were affixed to the leaked material and replaced it with a new one under All the Queen's Men. So it sounds like he's rubber stamping what he said about Tyler Perry. He's saying the same or similar about
Mm-hmm.
Christian Keys, and I think he's just covering
Yeah.
his base. He's just
Yeah.
putting it on everybody. You all catching
Yeah.
body.
Yeah. He's identifying how they are culpable in their individual capacity, but also their collective capacity.
Absolutely. As mentioned above, as mentioned, it should be as mentioned in the above statement of claim. Total copies created are 48, and they were distributed to 8 streaming platforms, making a total of 384 copies of the Title 17 U.S. Code 504 statutory damages. If the infringement was willful, the court can, at the discretion, order release. See what I was saying earlier about relief of 150,000 per infringed work.
Mm-hmm.
150,000 is the copyright. With it's like when I shoot pictures and I register with the Library of Congress. If
Mm-hmm.
someone violates that copyright, I want them, and that's the reason why you must register your work, because then when you go for damages, you want the maximum based on your registration with the Copyright Office. Okay, and that's just what I know from what I do. I believe that the facts stated in these particular claims are true and sufficient.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here you go. You have statement of fact, line 61. In the month of March, the named defendant of Tyler Perry Studios will be launched. Okay, will launch their new television series entitled All the Queen's Men in the summer of 2021. That is set in Atlanta, based on a book by Christian Keys entitled Ladies' Night Out. We will analyze Mr. Keys' book in scope, beginning with they're going in down to the book. He's going into the book of
Hmm. You
Ladies'
know
Night Out.
why? Can I add a little commentary?
Yes, you can.
Because everything in that book is him saying he's the owner of everything in that book and what was created. And if nothing that is created by trapping is identified in that book, that's going to be very telling.
Right. Very important. Okay. Entitled Ladies' Night Out. We will analyze Mr. Keys' book in scope, beginning with the registration to the Copyright Office. On December 1st, 2014, Mr. Keys made a registration to the Copyright Office for the book Ladies' Night, a 229-page book with registration number, blah, 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 making Mr. Keys' book the focus of this copyright claim. The plaintiff isn't disputing the author's claim of his book. He is, however, challenging the validity. Let me go ahead, go to the next one. His claim of creatorship regarding their television series, All the Queen's Men. Talk about that. He's
Mm.
not,
So what he's essentially saying is he's not challenging the validity of the book that Christian Keys has made. What he's challenging is the validity of the book that doesn't include the concept that he created. Because if you're saying that you created this concept, then what the concept should state in the book is exactly what is on the show, and it does not do that. What it does is pieces what he created and saying that it was started by that particular book when they don't not have a paper trail for that being mentioned in that book.
that is the problem. That is the problem. Where are the breadcrumbs in that book that would align with what is in the show and what is being claimed in his copyright? That's a major problem. So he might be pro se, but he seems like he's on top of his ish. It sounds like it.
Exactly. And that's a great client to have. It's a great client to have if this client has done all the work. And this is not a lawyer. This individual literally went and educated themselves on their rights after they noticed that what had happened to them is that their literary work had been stolen right from under their nose at the hands of the alleged attorney that they turned this information over to. So what this individual essentially did is they got to bootstrapping and got to going into these libraries and speaking to individuals to educate themselves to undo the mistakes that they made in their previous filings because they are not attorneys to know that particular lingo that is needed. So this individual ain't doing nothing but doing what he should do and tracing the steps of these individuals he is accusing of stealing his work.
So I'm sure he read
And
the
they made
entire.
it easy. They
Made
made
it
it
easy.
easy for him.
Okay, let me go a little further. And I'm gonna ask you a question. In their own words, the defendants are claiming that their story is based on Mr. Keyes' book, stating that the story's setting is in Atlanta. The setting plays a very important factor in the overall marketability of the
Mm-hmm.
movies. In my story, Atlanta, and not only in the main setting, but it also is where my fictional character, Tammy Johnson, was born and raised. Very critical part of the story creative expression that is used throughout the plaintiff's story as it relates to the dialect, dialogue, and the highly popular entertainment culture of Atlanta. And that goes back to what you were saying about, well, Christian Keys is not from Atlanta. This
Mm-hmm.
guy's from Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
that's that's something that the people are going to look at. They're going to look at, and the
Mm-hmm.
judges are going to look at it, and the jury's going to look at it.
Yeah.
Now think about this
This is
playing
one
out.
I take to a jury. I would take this to a jury every day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Yeah, this jurors looking at something like this may view this a lot different. So there's hurdles
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay. Oh, this is getting good. I need my popcorn. Okay. The setting plays a very important factor in the overall marketability of the movies. In my story, we read that. Okay, in my story, Atlanta, not only in the main setting, but it is also where my fictional character Tammy Johnson was born and raised. Very critical part of the story, creative expression that is used throughout the plaintiff's story as it relates to the dialect, dialogue, and the highly popular entertainment culture in Atlanta. In chapter one, page one, the fourth paragraph, we see that the main character of Ladies' Night name is Amp is seen looking out of a rearview mirror in a vehicle. He notices the sign that 80 that that 80 reads California Penitentiary. In chapter 8, first paragraph, line 6, you'll discover that the main character was raised in Long Beach, California. After losing his job at a convenience store, he soon meets a beautiful woman named Mary Madam Fox, the owner of a California nightclub called Club Eden, where she hosts an after-hour event called Ladies' Night, which showcases male strippers. Amp enjoys the money that is being made and decides to join her male review on Ladies' Night as a stripper. This contradicts the defendant's claim that their television setting of being in Atlanta, which shows in actuality 88 that the
Mm.
story setting and the content is in fact Los Angeles, California, as well as
Mm.
the location of Mary Madam's Fox nightclub. Eden now Eden now lets us analyze Mary Madam Fox. In chapter 9, page 75, beginning at the second paragraph, Amp had been told by one of the gossiping bartenders 3 years earlier was managing the hottest nightclub in town. She booked talent, several celebrity hosts, and even came up with the idea to bring in male dancers to put on show after regular club hours. It became known as the infamous Ladies' Night. Chapter 9, page 76, paragraph 4. Eventually, Madam got fed up and quit the club. Okay, so we go to another page. So, what do you think about that? Because he goes right into his book and then his body of work.
Mm. So what he's doing, what he's strategically doing is giving the court the differences in the similarities and
Right.
how it changed based off of once it entered into the studio and it was developed. Um, Nobody, and this is why I tell people, like, listen, I get that it's confusing, but copyright is copyright. And once you submit a copyright to the copyright office, as Christian did in that book, you cannot go back and you can't change anything and say that you are the owner of something when you didn't follow up with an additional copyright for that same work that you're saying that is a part of this work. So what he essentially did is they backdoored and went and did all the Queen's
Well,
Men
hold on. They
when
did
he
what? Hold on. They did what too?
backdoored and went and did it under all the Queen's Men when he should have, because you can go and amend your copyright and add the additional information that will have added to the credibility of him owning it. That's all he had to do. But what they did was, which will still be a federal offense, might I add, because that's still after the fact. But they went and did it under a whole new title, knowing that it was under Ladies Night Out, and it did not have those details that all the Queen's Men have.
This is problematic. This is problematic. If this is played out in front of a jury, the way this guy, all he needs is bring one or two other attorneys in to help him articulate his case in front of a jury. And this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me ask you before, because we got a lot of pages here. Do you see a settlement happening?
Oh,
But
listen.
you did say that because the lawyer is attached to this, there could be a problem with her law license.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't see a settlement happening from that standpoint. Now, the co-defendants can settle and leave
Mm,
her to
leave out.
be the only one to be
That.
subjected for the continuation. Um, I do think he does need a legal counsel to facilitate these conversations for him,
Mhm.
to reach out to the proper channels, like, hey, because that's essentially what we do. Once a lawsuit, or even before a lawsuit has been filed, we try to, foster those channels behind closed doors in order to have these conversations ahead of time. If communication can't be, broken down to a settlement, then of course we have to go to filing a lawsuit. That doesn't stop conversations from happening. We still have conversations in the midst of even having lawsuits filed, because we are supposed to try to facilitate a peaceful resolution for our client and also for the case at hand. So it is in his best interest to hire an attorney, or see if there's an attorney that would take this case on pro bono, because those are going to be the individuals that know how to facilitate those conversations to foster a peaceful resolution for this individual. And the only peaceful resolution I know that this individual is going to want is credit for his work, pay based off of what has been put out there, and for them to actually bring him on as the creative for this particular show. So, with that being said, I don't think so. But a court, based off of the calculations that I did, 150,000 times 384 copies, if that is going to be the final award presumably given, is $57 million, $57,600,000. So for the people in the comments that think that this is a game, if you have 57 million that is potentially owed to you, you will have the same disposition as this man who filed this lawsuit. Let's not even get anything confused. This man
Right.
is literally fighting for what he believes that he's owed because of what he has alleged happened to him.
Mm.
$57 million.
It's a
You
lot
know
of
how
money.
much 57 million? That's a life changing
Yeah,
amount.
well, I would assume that when he was trying to pitch his project, he was trying to get his life changed as well.
Exactly.
Counselor, where we at here? Okay, let me ask you guys
Um,
something. Let me before we do that, make sure you guys are hitting the like button, like, share. And do you want us to continue reading this lawsuit, or do you want us just to hold off for right now?
I think they have the.
The gist of it?
Yeah, I think it's
Well,
very
well, they,
clear.
they didn't get the statement of claims about the attorney.
Oh, well, let's go to the statement of claims about the attorney so y'all can know that we are not being biased.
Yeah, let's go. Let's see what the attorney's being accused of. Okay, let me go to what page is that on? I don't want to. How far down the line?
Keep
I
keep
don't want to.
going.
I don't want to scroll
Hold
this.
on.
Okay.
Let me see if I can
You tell me the
pull
page,
it.
and I'll turn it.
Mm.
Are you able to pull it up on your end?
Well, I'm looking on my phone now
Okay. Okay.
to find her.
All right. Put a one in the chat if you want us to continue reading this lawsuit. Put a two in the chat if you say you guys are okay with it. You
Yeah,
don't
so
need it.
it's on page 11 at the bottom.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna let you take a crack at that one.
And
Let's see.
somebody said that they want better readers. Listen, we are reading what we were given, so we cannot read what we don't, you know,
Right.
have. So
The,
we
the,
are literally trying to give y'all in correct grammar because this man is a pro se filer, which this is no strikes against him. He's doing the best that he can. So understand that we are reading something that we didn't make.
oh, we got that person out of there. They're not here anymore.
Oh,
we did Houdini on. They're out of here.
okay. 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 So we're talking, this is the attorney, guys. This is the statement of claim or the facts about the attorney.
What
Plaintiff is
line?
alleging
I'm sorry.
at the
I'm sorry.
bottom. So
160.
165.
Okay, got it. Got it.
Plaintiff is alleging that the defendant has, through a scheme, you see, this is a different word that they're using for this particular defendant, attempted to steal the exclusive rights of a protected work that received its copyrighted registration in 2018. And it's stated in 70 of this complaint. I'm trying, y'all.
Yeah, it's not us. Trust me, it's not us.
In doing, the defendants allegedly taken the plaintiff's protected fictional work, Tammy Johnson. Okay, keep going. Hold on.
Should I go to the next
This
page?
is not it.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Stand by.
Wait. Mm. This is page 8. I think the attorney at the top. Yeah, we
Mm,
already read the attorney.
oh, attorney was the first one that got to work. Okay.
Yeah, we read the attorney. So
Okay.
we
Good.
we took y'all on. We read the attorney, y'all.
Okay. So attorney got. We put the attorney out there already. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me bring you back up here. So now that we see, just based on this, and it's a lot more to go down the road.
Yeah.
Discovery. Um, maybe be a count. It might be even a countersuit. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think
I
this one. I don't think this will be a countersuit. What do you think? You,
I don't. Because it's this man is literally providing proof of his ownership in a character
hmm
and in the story. So you what are you countersuing? The truth that he has and documented and he's provided?
hmm
That's a waste of time to try to now um the only person I can, like I said, I'm gonna keep saying it. The only person I believe that may have less of culpability is Christian Keys.
Mm.
And
Mm.
I'm telling y'all, like my gut is telling me that this man is fed up. He came out because now he feels like, okay, now I'm being tied to something that I did not do. And I've been protecting individuals in this industry for so long, and now I'm unprotected.
Well,
And
hold
now,
on. He's protecting people. So is he a co-conspirator now?
well,
What?
it's not necessarily a co-conspirator. That's typically what victims do. They protect their abuser and the people that are inflicting the harm and the trauma on them. So based off of his Instagram live, he's been protecting these individuals for some time now. And I think based off of this, I think this particular lawsuit has triggered it. And the fact that this plaintiff has gotten his ish together, because we did say that his previous suits were dismissed for technicalities. Now it's not a game. Now, when they looked at that document, they say, oh,
He did
he
some
got
work.
it together. He done figured it out. Now I have to go and expel money on an attorney for in federal cases, attorneys are not cheap. They're going to ask for a minimum retainer of about $40,000 to $50,000. That's a minimum, because guess what? They're going to have experts, investigators. They're going to have expenses that come with defending federal suits. And we're talking about a man that said it's over 384 copies. So when we're talking about numbers, this is expensive. And we saw that the writer's strike, these people were out of work for almost a year. And we know that they were fighting for their residuals and their right and equal pay for what is being put out on these platforms. So we know these people are not making what y'all think they are. They are not as liquid as y'all think. This is Tyler Perry is liquid. That entertainment attorney is liquid. These actors and these show creators are not as liquid as y'all think. This is a very expensive fight. And I believe that Christians like this, I ain't losing. I done lost my mental health. I done compromised myself all these years. I'm not doing it anymore.
That's right.
I'm about to start calling it out, because now it's affecting me not only in my day-to-day, but it's affecting me in the pockets that I have to use in order to feed my family.
I want to help people understand why this third lawsuit, is actually alive in the court, and the other two were dismissed for technicalities. People are saying there's other reasons. No, it's for technicalities. The judge, if it was like dismissed with prejudice, and he explained to them, dismissed with prejudice, dismissed without prejudice, and this was not either case. This was based on a technicality.
So when you're talking about dismissed with or without, one you cannot bring back. One you can. So, and only time, and I call that nuclear. The only time a judge enters a nuclear dismissal, when you can't bring it back, is if there is no reason and no need to bring it back. And also, prosecutors can agree to that for it to not be able to be brought back.
Like, for
So
example,
there,
a frivolous lawsuit.
yeah, if there is it also, if it's clear on his face that these people are just doing it to harass, and it's been shown, but you got to have factual and proven documentation that shows that a judge is not going to just do the nuclear option and for no reason. So, and also, guess what? You have grounds to have that reevaluated, what a judge does.
Through the circuit court, because it's federal.
So Listen. The
Don't
man had technicalities because he's not a lawyer.
right, and you'll find
I
this
see
with
it all
course.
the time. Yeah,
Right,
I see it all the time. And a compassionate lawyer like myself, I have helped pro se individuals on cases where they've had little technicalities because I understand that they don't know the law. And I don't go hard on individuals because I know that they don't understand the law.
right.
You got to
Absolutely.
bring it down a notch, but everybody ain't like me. Everybody ain't gonna bring it on down. That's why I'm blessed and highly favored.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I think we giving you something to think about in this newest lawsuit filed. Uh, I there's no, I can't say that there's any correlation between what was filed by this plaintiff and the previous videos that Christian Keys has done. I don't know if there's a connection somehow, some way. I don't know if this was a cry out. I don't know if he was Christian was crying out because he knew this was coming down the pipeline. I don't know. We can't
Mm-hmm.
say that. Uh, we don't know the motivation. We just, we know that this person took it to the courts. He,
Mm-hmm.
di- he didn't get on social media. He took it to the courts.
He took it to the court, and it has not been trying to muster up a following from this. He's done it the right way
Right,
with the legal system.
right,
So it's going to play out the way that it needs to play out. But I do believe with the attention that Christian is getting, it is going to bring this to the forefront. Like people are going because they're already his integrity has been put into question because we haven't heard anything from the individuals that he's talking about. So now people are trying to find every little thing. What happened? Did Dennis leave? Oh, okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was like, what happened? And
I
I'm
didn't,
like, I said, did Dennis leave? There in the comments said, you still here, keep talking. Somebody said, girl, continue without Unc, he'll be back.
Yo, and Ray just. Oh, see, you're no good. You're no good. No, I swipe. I did a tender swipe left. I did a tender swipe left.
That was hilarious. You should have seen me here. I'm looking like, am I still here? But what did I say? I said something about Christian. Oh, I said was talking about how people are questioning his integrity because the fact that he hasn't come forward about this information that we've been on hold almost 2 weeks now, going on 2 week, well no, it's a week now, because when we had our mind blown and our wigs pushed back last week from this information, to where this particular suit is going to add to that integrity question against him. So this does not fare well for him opposed to the other individuals. And a lot of people are saying that Tyler Perry doesn't have to steal. Y'all, Tyler Perry is one person. He has actual employees. The liability is going to automatically fall on him because these are his employees. You cannot say he does. You can say he doesn't, but you don't know the integrity his employees hold when they are trying to get a check.
Right. So
So
we don't know if someone did something nefarious that without Tyler Perry's knowledge, but it doesn't really
yeah,
matter because he employed them. His team vetted these people. We don't know. We're not saying Tyler Perry per se, but the lawsuit is saying Tyler Perry per se. But
listen,
I would say at least this: there will be an opportunity for Christian to be in courtroom with Tyler Perry at the defense table.
they are calling him Christian Smollett. Oh my God. Oh my God. No. Justice Smollett was actually tried and convicted. and the appeal was denied. And he better not take that doggone case to the Supreme Court, wasting the Supreme Court's time when he know doggone well that what the jury got it right.
Yeah.
Don't piss us off with that, taking it to the Supreme Court. And we got women out here that can't go and end an unviable pregnancy because we lost our freaking rights. And that should be the main thing that they focus on, not some doggone ploy to get garner sympathy when you ain't need to garner sympathy. Oh, okay. Off of Smollett.
Well, let's get off of it because I don't understand anyone doing interviews with the cops with a noose on their neck. I couldn't fathom that at all. Like, dude, at least take the noose off. What the hell are you doing, Jesse? By the way, I covered that case out in Chicago as well. So when he came out walking out of the county jail, Cook County Jail, I was right there, and I said, Jesse, why did you lie? That's my voice.
You got to run that back. So that's a good ad lib, a good sound bite.
Yeah, I got to put that clip in there. So Jesse, that was me when you were walking out, and I said, Jesse, why did you lie? And you walked right past me, you and the family. I'm like, Jesse, why did you lie? Because I knew you were lying when I seen the video of the noose on your neck while you trying to explain to the cops that why you didn't take the noose off your neck. Incredible.
That was bad.
But ladies and gentlemen, do you have any questions? I'm gonna drop the link. We're gonna give you an opportunity to ask.
Yeah, come to the. You know who I want to ask a question, Miss Renee S. or because Renee been real spicy with us on this live. So here's your chance.
Renee, bring yourself on up in here. You got all that Twitter fingers. Get on up in here. I dropped the link. Get on up in here. The link is right there. Yeah. You want to come up? Click on that link right there.
Come give us all the smoke that you want.
Right.
All the smoke.
We say I'll say is put a face on it.
Put a face on it.
Right. Put a face on it. Let's see here. Let's see. And I what?
And
Come on up in here. Don't be scared now. Yo, saying all that in the comment section.
Come on and give us a good old hot and spicy from McDonald's.
Right. Because we might deliver a 2-piece in the biscuit. What's up?
Yeah. We're gonna give you one of them good old dry biscuits from Popeyes.
Good old dry without the jelly.
Yeah, without the jelly.
Let's see here. Who's spitting fire? I think she wanted to come. The lawsuit is covered for the allegations. Hold on. I didn't say that, but I'm gonna put that comment there. Hold on a second. Someone said is covered for the allegations. There will be a settlement from the lawsuit, and you will hear no more of the other. I don't know about that, but let's see here. Let's see. Come on now. She ran away. She ran away. All that talking. She's probably trying to get some followers. Get on up here. Somebody want to talk about this. If you want to talk about this, is your opportunity. She ran away. Let's see here.
Because we ain't ducking no smoke.
We ain't ducking the smoke. Bring the smoke.
No, she said, sorry, that's not going to happen. Not because I'm scared of y'all. I'm 50. I'm always a man. I'm 58 years old. Always a man, and I value my privacy. So think what y'all will. You can't give me anything except the fact that I don't agree with. Oh, you running. You scared. You scared. You ducking the smoke.
Say you running while not saying you running. Say you running while not running.
You are scared. Why? You do not want the smoke.
This is fraudulent.
You cannot value your privacy if you are in the comments.
You don't want the
on
smoke.
A social media platform.
I tell you what, you don't have to put your face up. Just put your audio. Just talk. So
Yeah, just black yourself out.
Come here. Come to us. We're ready for you.
Yeah.
How you gonna have all that smoke and then you end up with this?
Man, you didn't listen. You can't. You are banned from the smoker section.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put you in timeouts.
Yeah, you ain't in the smoker section.
Yeah,
we gonna put you outside in the cold.
He's just a distraction. That's all.
With some frostbites.
Right. Some frostbites. Hold on. Who else we got? Anybody else want some of this? We know Renee's scared. Renee ain't about that live. He ain't about that live. Let's see. Okay, I get that. All right. So you had the opportunity. I want to thank my co-host tonight for breaking the lawsuit down.
Yeah.
We had some challenges because this is not typically how we read lawsuits all the way. Even the spacing, counselor. I think I spoke to you about that earlier and how he's pro se, but I'm typically used to reading spaced out and
same.
But it's all good. It still had the
it's
meat,
all good in the neighborhood.
It had all the meat and potatoes that we needed.
It had all of. It was giving us a full menu. All we was missing now is the dessert, and that's gonna be the outcome that whatever happens at the court.
Someone said Renee's probably a writer stealing people's work. Renee, you still work, Renee?
Renee said that ain't their real name. We don't know if Renee is a man or a woman. And I'm not trying to get counsel announcing the wrong pronouns or whoever people identity. So
we don't know who that could be. That somebody just tried to come up in here. I heard something. Try it again. Someone tried to come up here. You see the link? Is Renee disguised as Mr. Perry? Is that you? Is that you, Christian? Who is that? Come on. I'm gonna send you the link now. Come on up. Let's go. Someone tried to come up just now. You try it again. Don't start and stop. Don't do that. Because we're right here waiting for you. I didn't think you wanted.
Y'all ain't want to come to the smoker section.
No, they didn't want it.
We smoked that good, not the herbs, not the ones that are, against the law. They smoke the good cigars that are, of high value, high potency, high quality, expensive.
Cookie up here. Cookie ready to come talk her stuff. Come on, Cookie. What you got to say?
Come on, Cookie.
Hi. I hope y'all can hear me.
Oh, we can hear you.
We can hear you.
I'm getting over a cold, so I might sound a little funny. I'm not coming to come at you or anything. I came in the middle of the reading, and I was because I've been trying to catch up and listen to a little bit of it because both people. How can I put it? When I heard him speak or someone else played his video, I thought it was about the Me Too type thing going on. Mm-hmm. And then I hear it's about the movie, the show. And I like both people. I have mad respect for both people. I'm trying to understand because it boggles my mind of how it seemed like all our people are being attacked. Rather it's, right or wrong, whose truth is whose truth. It just amazes me, and I'm trying to figure out why. I'm in my head about conspiracy about everything. But anyway, back to this. I'm trying to figure out, knowing who TP is and how talented he is and how much he's done for the industry and everything he got going on, and I guess how much money he may be worth. If this was so, why would he have to take from this CK and not give him his rights or give him whatever he feels he's owed if it was his original thing. And if it was his original thing, I don't know if I missed how long. I think I've seen in the chat that he had a suit going on like 3 times and it was dismissed or thrown out. Why is it? I understand you said, I guess he did it on his own, or now he needs to get some real attorneys to fight for him. Why did it take him so long to get to this point?
So,
am I making sense?
Well, so you gotta be careful because I was asking why did it take him so long, because we still wait for a police report in another situation, but that's another conversation for another day. I mean, the fact of the matter is, if you look at this lawsuit, you can see that he's done a lot of research. He's pulled statutes out. He's looked at obviously federal procedure and codes to see what is applicable to his case as a pro se defendant. So I'm more concerned not that it took him so long, because the clock starts once he does the filing. Whatever it took for him to lead up to this, I mean, that's his, his issue. He might have tried to reach out to attorneys. It could have been I can't guess why the person filed it when they filed it, but they did file it. That's right. Key. They filed it. And I think you were kind of alluding to our people being attacked. Are you saying that you're seeing probably a higher amount of people that are filing lawsuits, or that's just out speaking about wrongdoings? Help me understand.
I don't want to call it wrongdoers because, like I said, my motto is always, I wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know nobody's truth. I can only just go by what I feel in my heart, or what sounds right, or what makes sense. We think about, we can go far back as what I can really think about when I start really seeing this is, the Bill Cosby, the R. Kelly, now the P. Diddy, even they tried with Snoop Dogg. It's like, it bothers me because I understand everybody has their own timing on when they do things, but because it's coming like bam, 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 and it's mostly our people. I think I seen something yesterday with what's his name? Van, oh my God, what's his name from Fast and Furious?
Vin Diesel.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, they threw him in the mix, but I'm like, what is he? Because I look up as a brother. But it just seemed like our people, and it's for what reason? If you think about Bill Cosby, it was because of the NBC. Some people would say, which I am one of them, I think it's deep, 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 some more than what is out there. When we think about R. Kelly, people say the masters. You think about what's his name, Kanye.
So I appreciate you coming on and asking your question, but I don't really want to throw people's names out there right now.
That's why I was trying not to go there. But when I say
you went there. You went there. I was giving you enough rope. I was like, go ahead, man. You just hung yourself.
Yeah, I know. I apologize, but that's what I mean when I say, it just seems like every time you look around, it's somebody, bam, 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 and you're trying to figure out why is this happening now.
Thank you, Cookie. I appreciate you coming on. I really do. So Cookie wants to know why now, why so many people, and that may be a question that's going to be lingering with some people. But if you have a question, ask your question, and let's answer it. We want to keep it short and sweet, ladies and gentlemen. Short and sweet. Thank you, Cookie, for coming up. But if you have a question.
Thank you, Cookie.
Okay, let's see. Renee came back up here trying to cap again. You capping, Renee? What are you capping about?
Renee said he said y'all slow. Be easy. Basically, he called me y'all slow. He said he has an opinion. He said he would be disrespectful. He got an opinion too. But he wanted to come on and disguise his voice. He trying to figure out if he can get an AI device to disguise his voice at the tender age of 58, as if they gonna figure that out in the amount of time to come on here.
Renee, we're watching you. We know you're probably coming on with another screen name. Everyone's gonna get blamed for your behavior because we're gonna think it's you. We're gonna say, is it Renee? Renee, your name is now Mud. Renee, don't worry, man. Come on up when you're ready. You know, no pressure, a little pressure, especially when you type in. Now you got, now you have no time. They have all that energy, all that typing. They don't have no time when we call them up. It's amazing. But ladies and gentlemen, I thank you very much for coming on. I think that we definitely were able to show you that this lawsuit is serious. There's some explosive claims in the lawsuit, and let's see if this thing gets settled, because it's right now it's on the judge's desk, and everything the plaintiff does now is going to be watched with a microscope. Wouldn't you agree, Counselor?
Everything, especially as soon as the media picks up on it.
Right, the media picks up on it. I think we picked up on it. I think we did, media. But ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for coming on. I really do. And I thank my co-host, Attorney Thelma Anderson. Make sure you are following. Make sure you are hitting the like, subscribe button. And make sure you turn your notifications on, because we may have a breaking news update. And you want to be, it's that little bell right there. Hit that bell. I don't know when you're watching that, but hit that bell, because when we'll come on, you want to make sure you're not missing anything. But right now,
because when we break it, we break it.
Right, and that's what we do. We break news. We break news. We don't regurgitate. We break the news. With that said, everyone have a happy holiday. We may come back on. May come back on during the holidays. You never know.
Yeah. There's a Grinch looming somewhere.
Absolutely. Good night, everyone.